Hello everyone, Filmmaker Jay here, bringing back another one of my old films for your enjoyment. This time it's called Olympucaper, and that's Olympus and caper mixed, if you couldn't tell. This is a school project, just like the Civil War, which if you've seen that, that was for 8th grade history class. This time this is the final project for 9th grade history in high school for freshman year. And the reason you're hearing a commentary this time around is because I originally did have a lot of music tracks that I thought I had the license to use, but it turns out I really didn't. So I ended up deleting it from YouTube quite some years back. But this time I'm just going to skip the original music altogether, the original voiceovers, and I'm just going to explain what is going on in this video because not only because of the terrible resolution, but also because of the terrible artwork I did at the time, it's very hard to tell what the hell's going on. So hopefully I can explain just what the images you're about to see are and sort of the ideas behind the look of everything, because this was the first time I tried to do some world building of my own for any of my projects. So let's begin. So here's the original Lighter Productions name. That's what I originally called my film company. Now I'm just going by Filmmaker J as not only a persona, but the production company name as well. So the idea of this was to make a fake trailer for a non-existent movie about a young farm boy who is called upon by the Greek gods to help fight Hades and retrieve these magical orbs that held the powers of each main god within them, and that's where their power was drawn from, and once they're taken away, their powers are greatly diminished. And so all of the imagery here of Mount Olympus and all these Greek locations were drawn in an early version of Anime Studio called Moho at the time, I believe, or maybe this was with Anime Studio 5. I don't remember if the time lines up. But here's the orbs here with these kind of different symbols inside them, although they're all lightning bolts. I thought I did different symbols. There's Hades. He's in black robes with a red tie. The togas that I got and am wearing here are mostly sheets and curtains, which my teacher for 9th grade history actually had on her at the time. So I just ended up using what she was able to give me because I asked if I could borrow them for a while. That was the inside of my kitchen in the background there. I didn't change the background for that one. I was pretty bold with some of the designs and backgrounds I tried to do, although not so good with the grass. It's kind of flickering there in the wind. Those patterns in the background actually did not stay in place. It was kind of like that cartoon Chowder, where the patterns just kind of stay in place and the animation rolls in front of it. That's Hades flying towards the underworld, kind of like Bartok in Anastasia, where he's dragged into this purgatory. I tried to get more bold with the camera shots and kind of the compositions here. And I made great use of that, what is it called? Plasma ball. That's right. So many little things to explain here, so I might have to replay the video twice and comment over it twice just to fit in all of the stuff here. So many things to point out. So yeah, we'll go around the horn again here, and I'll try to point out some other stuff I didn't do this time. That was over in a nearby park just to get some live grass. And as you can see, there's these matte lines around myself because it's all rotoscoped frame by frame. I took all of these vector points and constantly shifted them and moved them around my body to remove me from the background because I didn't have a green screen at the time, and I didn't have green screen chroma keying software at the time, so I had to work without it. And I managed to get some pretty clean mattes sometimes, but other times they were a lot more rough. This is one of my first attempts at a 3D sort of multiplane zoom effect, or rather trucking effect, going away from the camera. This next shot is actually my boldest I think I ever did at the time, because it's this big crane shot just flying down towards me through all these giant pillars. Obviously inspired by the Mines of Moria from the first Lord of the Rings film. This shot I was rather proud of because I got the twisting of the background correctly. Or correct. Yeah. And everything is flat. There's no 3D objects in here. They're all flat planes, but they have a 3D space. So I tried to build a 3D space in here as best as I could. If you're wondering what those, you might not even notice, there's green things in the background there. Those are mushrooms, glowing mushrooms. I'm not sure why I wanted the underworld to have glowing mushrooms, but they just do. So yeah, we'll let this wrap up here and then we'll repeat it. I think I edited this on ULead Video Studio, which is where this kind of film background comes from. This was kind of built into the package when you bought the software. Really bad transitional effects there with all those blocky pixels. I think some of these plasma ball effects did work out well. I just had no way to feather the edge because it was all done with Anime Studio. It wasn't done with After Effects. You could still feather masks, I think. It was just weird. And those were fig leaf sort of hands. I don't know why I did it that way, because there's no, as far as I know, there's no Greek mythical beast with foliage hands, but I just did it anyway. They're kind of parting the clouds there. One interesting thing that's kind of funny is I was wearing all of those togas outside in my large backyard, which had a highway right next to it with all these cars passing by, and so many people, well, maybe like 3 or 4, I think, honked their horns and yelled toga from out of their car window at me. And I knew they'd do that, but I didn't care because I had to film this. So I was kind of prepared to get a little mockery from the drivers passing by. Kind of got a Magneto helmet there, even though it's not in the next shot and not in the following ones. I experimented with a lot of drawn clothing, like in this one, like animated beards, animated helmets, animated hats. Yeah, there's me flying to the underworld again. It's a little hard to tell because there's no three-dimensionality to it. I did an animated beard in the Civil War video for 8th grade history, but this was the first time I did a full visible beard. So these gods are coming down now to find a champion who they will bestow the sword of Zeus and the shield Aegis. And you see that blue guy there, he is actually meant to be a policeman of sorts of Olympus, and he has this little crystal that's red that blinks like a police siren, and that's kind of his I guess you could say his enchanted piece of jewelry that allows him to transport himself from one place to another. So I had it blinking and he's holding it in the air, and then there's this trickling of rain that comes down from it that makes him appear, you know. This is the backyard forest of my first girlfriend. I didn't have my first girlfriend for very long, but she was gracious enough to let me film in her backyard for a bit here near this forest entrance. This was the most complicated background I did because I think I tried it twice. I tried this background once where that camera move really was in a 3D environment, but it looked all kind of funky, so then I had everything twisted and shifted to look one way, and then as the camera appears to go down, then everything kind of shifts to a new orientation. So it's sort of a 2D effect of the camera moving down. And then this is Hades' little office. If you notice, there's a pile of books and a... I actually forgot that was there. There's a pile of books and some sort of barrel over there. I don't even know what's written on it anymore because it's so hard to see with this old resolution. I think this is like not even 360. This has got to be 240p or something really, really small. Like ULEAD Video Studio was terrible back in the day. You couldn't get a resolution higher than a certain amount. Such a shame. And that's Cerberus, with one eye, the other eye from another head, and two eyes from the third head. Really, really badly composed title, too. So yeah, there you go. That's Olympucaper. I tried, actually, to submit this to a film festival in Kalamazoo, Michigan one time. Not the animation festival. I submitted stuff to that quite a few times before, but this was the first time I tried to submit a live-action film to a festival, and it was not one that I should have done, because, I mean, even when I submitted it, I realized the animation is good somewhat, but just, like, really rough, and the video quality is insanely terrible, and you could barely hear the original dialogue because it was so muffled, and a lot of post-processing to make it sound deep. So obviously I didn't get into that festival. But if any of you were aware of my new project, Bill and Maggie, which is still in post-production, almost nearing completion, this is another stepping stone from doing my early animations to Bill and Maggie, because this was the first time that I tried to do all digital backgrounds, or mostly digital backgrounds, to create a new environment, to create a fake fantasy environment. And it was very ambitious. I was trying to go far beyond my current capabilities, and I did get something out of it. It just isn't really good for anything other than mild entertainment. But I'm glad I can post it again with a commentary of sorts. Most commentaries don't double over like that, but since it's so short, I figured we had to. So, thank you all for watching, everyone. I've recently been uploading a lot of my older videos that have never made it onto YouTube before, trying to revise stuff and fix things in order to make them able to be uploaded. And I don't know exactly when I'll have some brand new content for this YouTube channel, but my second YouTube channel, the Filmmaker J Studios, will be getting a lot more content in the coming weeks and coming months. So you might want to flip over to that channel and see what we're cooking up over there, because we got some stuff on the way that I think you might be interested in if you found this mildly entertaining. This has been Filmmaker J, and I'll catch you later.